After the short break, the One Piece spoilers for chapter 1156 are finally here, and things are really starting to shift in a new direction. The focus moves away from Elbaf, Herald, and Loki, and dives head first into the mystery of the Rocks Pirates. But that's not all. This chapter also brings us something fans have been dying to see: the long-awaited clash between Roger and Garp. So there's a lot to cover today, and as always, I want to hear your thoughts in the comments. If you want to miss any upcoming One Piece content, make sure to hit like and subscribe, and now, let's dive in. The cover story takes another break this week, but we're treated to a beautiful color spread, this time featuring not just the Straw Hats, but also the Roger Pirates. But the actual chapter begins not with Xebec or the Rocks crew, but with the Kuja Pirates. At this time, Gloriosa leads the crew with Shakky as her right hand. They were seen as icons, admired by the world like pop stars, and that's where the chapter title comes from. Shakky was considered the real number one, the world's favorite. But both Gloriosa and Shakky weren't just admired for their beauty, they were feared on the seas, even going head to head with the Roger Pirates. It's hard to place exactly when this happened, but it was clearly before God Valley, which means Roger is even younger than in the flashbacks we've already seen. Maybe still clean-shaven with just a little stubble, and of course already rocking his iconic straw hat. But here's a twist. The Roger Pirates couldn't really fight properly because they were too distracted. Most of them had eyes only for Shakky. Meanwhile, Gloriosa was infatuated with Roger, and Shakky, she had her eyes on Rayleigh. Why did they even fight in the first place? Probably something silly like treasure, or maybe they were just looking for a reason to clash. We'll likely get more context in the full release. Here's the interesting part. It seems like Gloriosa was suffering from the same love sickness that eventually killed the former Kuja Empress and nearly took out Boa Hancock. As we know, in One Piece, if you don't overcome this sickness, you die. But Gloriosa's still alive today, old but kicking. So what happened? Did she fall for someone else, or did she just let go of her feelings for Roger? Either way, I doubt there was ever a real romance between them, let alone a child or something wild like that. Now for the moment everyone's been waiting for. Garp's ship enters the scene, and we get a brief but intense clash between Roger and Garp. The spoiler text doesn't hype it up like Roger versus Xebec or Whitebeard, but that's probably just because they're still young here. Either way, it's a legendary moment. We don't get a full fight, but it's enough to finally see these two icons collide. Meanwhile, across the world, we cut back to Loki, who apparently tried to join the Rocks Pirates. It's unclear whether this happened before or after the current Elbaf timeline. In any case, it doesn't seem like anything came of it, and it probably won't matter much in the long run. But what does matter is what comes next. Toward the end of the chapter, we shift to Roxy Xebec's plan. We see his crew growing in strength, with familiar faces like Kaido, Big Mom, and others like Silver Axe, who you might remember from the Thriller Bark mentions, and someone named Captain John. Xebec reveals something huge. Elbaf is key to destroying the Holy Land. Marry Joa. Why? Because according to him, there are two legendary devil fruits in the world, not just the one connected to Abern. One is likely the Hito Hito no Mi, model Nika, Luffy's fruit. The second? Possibly the Yami Yami no Mi, Blackbeard's fruit. It makes sense. Blackbeard isn't just any pirate. He's special. Possibly Xebec's heir, maybe even his vessel. That would also explain why Blackbeard is so central to the story. He's not just villain number 2 behind Emu. He's a key player and maybe even a necessary ally in the endgame. Let's not forget, Blackbeard carries the D, and that makes him a natural enemy of the Celestial Dragons, the world government, and Emu himself. And Emu knows it. He hates both Luffy and Blackbeard, likely because of their legendary fruits. And the third torn photo from earlier, that was of Shirahoshi, the ancient weapon Poseidon. Xebec seems to be plotting something massive. Using the legendary shipbuilders of Elbaf, he wants to construct what could be a second Pluton. Why not use the first? Maybe he doesn't know it exists, or maybe he never found it. because if he had known, he might have wiped out the world already. So, which of the two fruits was actually located on Elbaf? Was it the Gomu Gomu no Mi, aka Nika, or was it the darkness fruit that suddenly appeared in the hands of Thatch aboard Whitebeard's ship? And what about Loki? He doesn't seem to have either of the legendary fruits, at least not yet. Maybe he was too late, or maybe his role is different. Sure, he might play a big role in the final war, but the main players seem clear: Luffy and Blackbeard. Two rivals, two living legends. And maybe, just maybe, future allies? Blackbeard could even sacrifice himself for the greater good. One thing's for sure, the possibilities are endless. I'm super curious what you all think, so drop your theories in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. The full spoilers are linked in the description as always. See you in the next one. And until then, take care.